I like that we channeled Marion Lauren throughout this whole thing and nobody ever realized it. We just got on this whole doorknob kick. She played Aunt Clara, and she collected because the character did, but they based it because Marion Lauren actually collected doorknobs. That was her thing, and in fact, the doorknobs on the Stevens house and so they were her doorknobs. They put them into the show, so we channeled the spirit of Marion Lauren. I love that.
I had no idea. All right. Let's pick a title first. I wrote down several things, but I have a favorite. However, you guys as the guests get to choose. So here were the options. She Was My Spy, Out to Inspire, It Makes You Feel a Certain Way, Finding Beauty in That, It Brings Us Joy, or Spread the Love and Keep Your Eyes Open.
That sounds so dirty, doesn't it?
I know, right? That's a provocative.
All right, we won't use that one.
Oh man! Wait, can you say it one more time?
Yeah. So She Was My Spy, Out to Inspire, which was the one I actually thought fit the best. A lot of reasons for that. It Makes You Feel a Certain Way, Finding Beauty in That, It Brings Us Joy, or Spread the Love, which we're not going to use.
Unless you want to.
I think that Out to Inspire is
That's what we're out to do.
That's what we're out to do. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
Really just out to inspire people to see beauty in the small things. So.
Perfect. And Bez, are we just using my recording in this one?
Whatever, yeah, but I mean, I'm recording too, so go ahead.
Okay. Welcome to Season 6, Episode 39, Out to Inspire. This is Written on the Edge. I'm Ben Sebastian here with my co-host, S.A. Baz Collins.
Howdy.
We're really glad you're here with us. Our guests today are the Taste Curators. They are Liz Styling. Liz has worked in the culinary arts for the past 7 years. She held the position of VP of Culinary Operations and Production for the celebrity chef Giada De Laurentiis. While working in this role, Liz won an Outstanding Culinary Program Emmy for being the culinary producer for Giada Entertains. Liz's career started in restaurants before she expanded to food styling and recipe development for places such as Food Network, New York Times, Gourmet Magazine, and The Today Show. She competed on the TV show Chopped and walked away with the win. Liz has also been featured in the book...
That's where I know you.
Best reaction.
Sorry, Vance.
That was awesome.
Wait, I should have done it in NPR. Oh, that's where I know you were from.
Yeah, right. NPR voice.
Okay, sorry.
To continue the introduction, Liz has also been featured in the book Chefs Inc. and Elle Sweden magazine for her unique food tattoos and recipes. She was recently a guest judge on Food Network's Vegas Chef Prize Fight. Liz is currently a culinary consultant, food stylist, culinary instructor, and contributor to Jadzi. Liz has also been a repeated guest on the Epicurious YouTube series called Pro Chef vs. Home Cook, and will have a new episode coming out soon. Next to her is Abby Cook. Abby has been a trend forecaster for over 15 years and has traveled to 50-plus countries in order to seek out and create lifestyle and fashion trends. She sees the big picture and connects emerging ideas and culture that are created into understandable stories for the future. Abby has predicted some of the most influential trends and social movements of the past decade, including the hipster effect and the rise of skinny jeans. She was also a key player in creating the cult color that defined a generation, millennial pink. She has presented her research and forecasts to Fortune 500 companies around the world. As a keynote speaker, she has been featured at international trade shows in Paris, Shanghai, and Medellin. Abby developed her career in Paris designing fabrics for Chanel and Jean-Paul Gaultier at the textile atelier Mahalia Kent. She has worked at Martha Stewart Living, Kohler, the Color Association of the U.S., and Cotton Incorporated. She is currently a consultant creating custom fashion and design forecasts for trend, experiential marketing, and branding agencies. She's also been recently a repeated guest lecturer in trend forecasting at the School of New York Times. Abby, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Well,
I have to go take a nap now. You girls, you guys have overworked me.
I know. Well, and together they're building their new brand, the Taste Curators, where they're merging
There you
food,
go.
fashion, and design. And that's what we're here to talk about today.
Yes. Yay.
So you have amazing resumes, both of you. And I want to ask each of you, where was the initial passion? I mean, when you were younger, where was the drive to start on this path?
Oh, Lordy. Well,
Take
for
it
me,
away.
I mean, I've been cooking professionally since I was 15, but I mean, at home since I was probably 12 or 13. And by
That's
cooking,
awesome.
I mean, like, you know, opening up Martha Stewart Living and making a full Thanksgiving feast for the family, you know? So,
Low bar. It was just a low bar, you know.
It is
Yeah.
no small feat for a 12-year-old.
yes, exactly. So, I mean, I knew very young that the food service industry was for me. I was kind of between dance, which is actually how we met, or working in food. And yeah, I realized that working in food, I could eat whatever I wanted, and I could still find the rhythm working in a kitchen. Like, there's still a dance that happens when you're on a line.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if I tried to be a professional dancer, I'd struggle my entire life. I'd have to starve myself, and I probably wouldn't be enjoying life as much as I am now. So,
Excellent. And Abby?
So I come from a small town in Wisconsin, with about a 700 people population situation.
Where?
Where?
Are you from Wisconsin?
I'm in Madison right now.
Stop it!
Yes.
And my dad was born in Tomahawk.
Wait,
What? Wait. Whole new episode.
well, I'm originally from Amherst, which is near Stevens Point, Wakanda.
I grew up
I
in
think
Wisconsin
that was
Rapids.
fun.
We were
No.
neighbors. I grew up in Wisconsin Rapids.
Yeah.
wow, Milwaukee.
Nice.
I have a grandma in Madison. I mean, we cover the whole state.
Right? Anyway,
Welcome to This Is Wisconsin episode.
anyway, back to your journey.
Yeah. She's her summer sausage. We just got back from Wisconsin, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
We love it. And we still continue to love it.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm from that small town.
Mhm.
Fashion wasn't a big thing. And so I relied on
Women were still wearing socks and high heels. I know. Got it.
exactly.
Yep.
And I just, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do in fashion, but there was some kind of calling. And I ended up studying textile design in Milwaukee. And I would say what really kind of fueled me is I got really lucky and had an internship in Paris and got to create amazing textiles. And that kind of fueled what's going, there's something, a bigger picture happening. And I learned about trend forecasting there. So I would say in my college years is when I really was I got to do fashion, but I know I can't, it's not going to happen in Wisconsin. So we ended up putting it together. But yeah, definitely in early days. I had a very creative childhood. And I think, like Liz,
I
I was
just see
making,
an 8-year-old walking by going, girl, I got to do something about that.
The dress up pictures from when she was young, you
yeah,
know?
I was constantly creating outfits with whatever I had. And I had an aunt who owned a vintage store, so she would always give me all these bags filled with vintage fashion. And just, there was definitely a strong love at an early age. Yeah.
There you go.
That's
There
awesome.
you go.
So you dropped a hint earlier that you met through dance,
Yes.
which was not what I expected. Can I ask?
She was my tap dance teacher.
I was in college still, and I knew that retail didn't pay the same as what I could teach in dance. And so, yeah, she was not only my tap student, but she was my best tap student. And,
Okay, see, I had a whole vision of her being like Martha Graham, and I thought we could move from Martha Stewart to Martha Graham cooking. And you could do this esoteric kind of thing. And then you can go all Twyla Tharp, Yeah. Michael Kidd. Okay, Robin Williams. Advance is saying, shut up.
No.
no, it's all
Go ahead. All right.
So yeah, she was actually, fun fact, she was actually my spy. because I had this is back when we had yellow pages and phone books. And I looked up.
Remember those days?
Yes, dance studios. And I was like, is anybody looking for a tap teacher? And the very first dance studio I called happened to need a tap teacher. And so they called me in and they had me do like a little summer session. And she was friends with the dance studio owner. And so she was my spy to see if I was good enough to hire. And
she was.
Awesome. So an amazing couple of years later, you guys are starting a project together. And that's what we're here to talk about. So tell us about the Taste Curators.
Okay, I'll go.
Wow, it just sounded like you asked for the secrets to the Keebler elves or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that why we're here?
That's the Levain cookie, and you can't disclose that. Basically, we are out to inspire and showcase the connection between food, fashion, and design, and how that connection actually connects everyone in the world. That's really the gist of it, the long and short of it. It can be as simple as, connecting a literal, like, oh, there's lips on my t-shirt and you eat with your mouth, like literal things like that. But it can also just be kind of avant-garde and creative, and that's what makes it fun and hopefully inspiring.
All right. So what are some of the services you offer?
Well, we're offering very different things. We're doing other culinary experiences, partnerships, collaborations, and even pushing into products sometime next year. We did like a really fun collaboration last year with a chefware company, and we picked a really fun color called Shocking Pink, and they created aprons and t-shirts, and we did the whole thing with the power of that color. And that color kind of leads back to a famous fashion designer named Elsa Schiaparelli, and she kind of was known for her shocking pink. And that's something that I've been trending in my fashion trend forecast. And so we thought like this would be a cool color in the culinary world. And so like that's just an example of one of the collaborations we've done. So we're kind of trying to do more things like that as one option in different culinary experiences.
I was going to say, how did you tie food into that?
Well, because it's a chefware company. So I actually wear their chef shirts and aprons and stuff, and I really enjoy their product. It's probably, when you think about, chefware, I still go back to like the hammer pants, and oversized
Yep.
Fun female in the
things that you could cook and have a lay down.
Yes.
The first time she told me she was a chef, and actually we were going to swap cooking lessons for tap lessons because my last name's Cook and I can't do that very well. And so when she showed up, and I was kind of like, what is this outfit happening? It was very, very baggy.
Yeah, being a slender female in the kitchen, like it's hard to find a chefware that actually fits, So they've actually done that. They're kind of the supreme of the culinary world, where they merge like streetwear and chefwear to make it a little bit more functional and transitional. And we realized that Shocking Pink actually looks good on everyone.
Really?
Well, there you go.
Surprisingly so. And,
of course. No,
we
go
had
ahead.
a talk with them to like we wanted to showcase them as makers, and we were like, oh, we would love to partner up with you or whatever. And so we learned their story, and then they learned our story, and they're like, we'd love to have you, pick a color for us. And so that's what we ran with.
But then like on Instagram, we did a whole kind of marketing thing where we always do cocktails. Is one thing that we love to make. And so we have a thing called cocktail color palettes. And so we always create a color palette based off of our, stylized shot of our cocktail that we made. We made a Shocking Pink cocktail for that, and we did some other fun food things that use that kind of bright fuchsia pink in food. I think there was even a tart that you'd done back, I guess, before the collaboration.
Yeah, a plum tart. It's shocking. Shocking.
And then.
Like I had done a plum tart, and those plums had turned this beautiful, like almost fuchsia color. So yeah, it's kind of fun. It's interesting and surprising the way that these connections will sneak up on you.
Well, I'd have to give my gay boy card back if I didn't make the queer reference between Millennial Pink and Shocking Pink. You've got your blush and bashful going.
What are your colors, Shelby?
They're blush and bashful.
Ooh.
Her colors are pink and pink.
Yes.
So true. Well, and ironically,
Julie Roberts, if you're listening.
well, originally they always say that pink was intended to be worn by boys and blue by girls, like back in the day. And somehow we switched out of that. And so this is the whole, like, kind of going old school again. Everything old is new again.
Exactly.
There you go.
Very nice.
There you go.
Very nice. So when someone reaches out to you then, what's sort of the process you take to help enrich their experience?
Well, I mean, we start by having a pretty generalized conversation about kind of how off the cuff they want to be and conceptual they want to be. So, I mean, we can offer services as simple as, oh, we can do recipes using, whatever ingredients, or we can do color palettes and like connect whatever they're, presenting us with design features or whatever. But then we can also go kind of a little bit more avant-garde, where maybe we provide the recipe, but we also do a color palette, and we also do like a mood image that goes with it that kind of ties more emotion into it. Where when you think about food and fashion, there are two things that everybody touches every day, but they also are so emotional. Like, whether we realize it or not, when you get dressed in the morning, like, you're choosing to put on that article of clothing and it makes you feel a certain way. When you put on something that fits you great, you're like, oh my God, I feel like $1 million, right? And when you sit down for a good meal, you eat that first bite and you go, oh my God, this reminds me of my grandma. Or, oh, this makes me so happy. It's the best burger I've ever had. Or, oh my God, this is horrible. And both can like make you feel different things. And I think that the people who are kind of creative and can conceptualize that with us kind of let us take that journey with them, and that's the fun part.
Yeah, we've done some content for brands, trying to just showcase their products in new ways that are kind of fun and more designy. We even did, this is kind of going back to when we first started and like how this kind of came to be. We forgot to the photo shoot.
Oh, yeah.
That we were always talking about just how similar our industries were, but yet they were so separated at the same time. Like, even working in fashion, it was like no one ate, and it's like, but it's such an important thing, and it's, and even just like restaurants became more designy, and so I feel like fashion did influence that industry, but then vice versa. But we did like a photo shoot 8 years ago.
Yeah, probably.
It was going to be for a magazine in London, and it was to showcase the parallels of the two industries, and we had this really cool photo taken where we lined up all the literal parallels of food and fashion. So we had, for example, like vegetable seeds and cotton seeds. You grow both the things to make it. And then we felt like salt and thread were another similar thing. And that is like salt is the thread to a dish and vice versa. And then the tools, you have, rulers and measuring cups. And then you have recipes and then patterns to make the clothes.
Knives and scissors. Like,
Yeah.
And so
Right. The parallels are there.
Yeah, like these literal takes. And we even talk a lot about even the words. Like, there's color palettes and then there's like a flavor palette. They're spelled differently, but they kind of are similar.
But they sound the same. It's fine.
Right?
I just love that you can go from Martha Stewart classic to Grace Jones. You know what I mean? You've got all of that to work with.
Yeah.
Yes. So I mean, they're just like we did fun things like that, and so I think going forward, we like to showcase that for other brands or for our own content and or just even experiences. We did a fun project with a choir company last year where Lish created food that tasted like the music, and I worked with some weavers in Colombia and created a textile piece going along, taking everybody through the design journey through music. And so it's just like doing fun projects like that are another thing we love to do.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So
with all the work with pink, did you advise Little Nas to go all pink?
Is that what
I know. That might be really cool to do, actually.
I wish. I mean, it's one of those things where it's a trend is like it starts, and some trends like grow massively, like Millennial Pink did, and some get put out, like the fire gets put out real quickly. But that was one that like we definitely did not see coming as how big it was going to grow, and then go into like shocking pink and what you just talked about. And so, yeah, it was one that had so many. I think Millennial Pink, what a lot of people don't know is it has massive cultural roots, and there's a whole thing behind gender fluidity and even like legalizing gay marriage and all these things that went into the research that created that color, Millennial Pink. and most people don't realize like the real deep roots that it has.
The backstory.
Yeah, and it's
Right, and it's important, you know.
Yeah.
it's so important. Yeah.
So, given what you described, then, and just the way you guys merge all of the palettes, I'll say it that way. Is there a dream project you would want to be on, or is there something like a concept you've been wanting to design for, like architecture, or name it?
Wow,
Well,
that's a great question.
Honestly, we have a show concept. So anybody out there listening to this,
Netflix, Amazon, Hulu.
we have a show concept that we want to share and like kind of get around that would show the connection of food, fashion, design around the world and kind of tell more of the history of colors and all that kind of stuff. So
Ooh, very cool.
don't say too much.
Yeah, don't say too much. Don't give away the secrets.
Or else we'll have to send NDAs to everyone that's listening or watching this.
Exactly.
No.
So yes, that's a huge, big, fun dream
Yeah.
that we kind of have started with, and then we're kind of trickling down from there.
Yeah.
For me, I would love to do something with the Schiaparelli brand, the Elsa Schiaparelli's brand that went dormant for like 30 years has now been resurrected, and with Shocking Pink and everything, I think it'd be so cool to do a food and fashion thing with them because they would do a lot with surrealism, and I just think we could do something really wild and fun with that. That's like a big dream project.
Yeah.
All right. I want to hear how each of you would do a surreal piece of this.
Ooh.
With Schiaparelli.
Dun, dun, dun.
No, right?
Yeah, each of you diving into your specialties. I want one surreal concept idea from each of you.
Oh, Lordy.
No.
I mean, I would probably have to go rings because, like, I don't wear a lot of jewelry, but I do love rings, which is not evident right now. But, like, maybe some kind of something where, it's actual literal fruit, pieces of fruit or something on it that, kind of pimped out in some way, shape, or form in this, like, cool, surrealist way that, what's the designer's name? Daniel
Roseberry is the creative director.
Yeah, and he's doing some.
I can also see how you could do it. Like Adrian was very famous for taking things that you didn't think were fashion, so you could do like food pieces with and still do something creative with it, instead of like I think in The Women he had one outfit that was this beautifully draped piece and it had a doorknob on the hand, so you could do like a cupcake or a fairy cake or something, so it's like that, you can blend fashion to do something avant-garde, right, like you were saying.
Absolutely.
And add it to, okay, I could see it.
I would also love it if he were to do some kind of like crazy avant-garde knife kit or something. That's a cool bag.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Looks like a knife kit, like something that you don't feel weird getting on the subway because everybody's looking at you like, what you got in there? Like, I know they're not.
They're all looking to see if they're filming an episode of Dexter.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
But I think that would be pretty cool if that kind of like crossover could happen.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So, Abby, what's your concept for this one?
Well, I guess like going back to the color part of it, like I would love to know like what does Shocking Pink taste like, and what could we do like with a runway situation where people maybe are eating something as certain looks are going down the runway, and there's this connection, emotional connection of what you see, what you taste. I mean, that is just something that I think would be it is so interesting. And there's definitely been some fashion shows where there's been sort of like dinner parties happening, but I think there's like something to be said for even kind of like the choir thing that you've done at one point. Like when we could do in-person events, she'd done something with this choir previously where the director or whatever was telling the audience to eat this thing at a specific time in the music. So it was like you had that full
immersive
emotional thing happen.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be kind of cool with runway too. It's like this certain look comes down and like this is the course you're going to eat while you're looking at it. Something like that could be really interesting.
That's
I have
awesome.
all the designs in my mind, but
I love it.
Yeah.
Anything else about the Taste Curators you want us to help you share with the world?
Well, we are starting a newsletter.
Oh, perfect.
There you go.
Yeah, and that's going to kind of really kind of talk more and more about like these parallels and just creative ideas that we're doing and highlighting interesting makers and designers and talking about color a lot in food and fashion. So you can sign up for that in October, and we can send you the link for that.
Yeah, which I think that's a great way of kind of keeping in touch and knowing we're working on a couple of, like a cookbook series and some stuff that's going to be a little bit more tangible and understandable.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a great way to keep in touch and know when we're going to do pop-up events or more books or that kind of thing.
And people can sign up for that at your website, thetastecurators.com?
Yep.
Yes.
Perfect. All right. Anything else you want to share? Here's your chance.
Many more collaborations next year.
Yep.
More events.
Yep.
Hit us up if you want something you want to do or promote and bring some kind of fun.
Just got to get past this whole masking and taking
Right.
our shots kind of thing so we can get back to some normalcy,
Yeah, exactly.
Actually,
virtual event, but yeah.
I was gonna say if I were to be hosting an event that I want to be safe and space was not an issue, so people could spread out, and I were to come to you and say, all right, help me think of food and masks that could be given to guests that would be stylish, easy to eat, and safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the mask part with you.
I know.
Right? Right.
I saw one mask.
There would be intravenous bottles.
Exactly.
That's avant-garde.
Yes.
It's true. It's true.
Cool.
But yes, you could do that. And
Yeah.
you could come up with something.
Perfect. I just wanted the world to know that you guys were ready for any challenge.
Yes.
All right. So we've given people your website, thetastecurators.com. Which socials are the best to follow you on?
Well, the Taste Curators is at _taste_curators. That's our joint account.
Yep.
And then I have a personal account, which is at Abby, ABBYL Cook.
And I'm at Lish Styling, STEILING.
And these are Instagram?
All Instagram.
All
Yep.
Instagram.
You can sign up for our newsletter.
Yeah, definitely.
Exactly. Coming in
Absolutely.
October. You heard it here.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
All right. Any final words of wisdom?
Love. Spread love.
There you go. There you go.
Yes.
Yes.
Keep your eyes open to what inspires you out there. Keep your eyes open to beauty in the world.
Yeah, stay curious. I think that's the ultimate thing.
Awesome. All right, folks, this was Written on the Edge. The Rote Podcast is produced by Rogue Ravens Media. For our disclaimers, links to social media, our listen stations, or to sign up as a guest, visit www.rotepodcast.com. We'd like to extend a huge thank you to Lish and Abby for being with us. You guys, thank you so much.
Thank you both.
Our pleasure. Now, as we said a couple times, head to thetastecurators.com, sign up for the newsletter, open your eyes to beauty and your heart to experience. And we'll talk to you all again soon. Bye-bye.
Oh, what's that? Closing time. The bums rush in Melody, dear.